Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Streaming. Thank you. Members, good evening and welcome to our December and last full council meeting of 2021. Members, I'm sure that you're aware that our Chief Executive, Roger Wilson, was awarded the Director of the Year 2021 for the public sector by the Institute of Directors for Northern Ireland. So on behalf of Council, I would like to extend many congratulations on this fitting acknowledgement. I would also like to congratulate a young Armagh woman, Miss Lucy Montgomery, who was awarded a Royal Humane Society testimonial on Vellum, which is a prestigious award for bravery. Miss Montgomery saved the life of her own father and another young man whilst on holiday in France. There was also another incident, I believe in Portdown, where two young men saved someone's life who had fallen into the River Bann. So could I ask if anyone has the details of these young heroes to please contact the Lord Mayor's office. As we near the end of another challenging year, I'd like to pay a tribute and express my sincere thanks to our tremendous frontline workers, our healthcare workers, volunteers and community volunteers who continue to give so much to maintain our essential services and care for and protect our loved ones. And sadly this year, and particularly over the festive season, will be hard for anyone who has suffered the loss of a loved one. My thoughts and prayers are with you at this time. But it's Christmas, and as I look around the chamber and on our colleagues on Zoom at home, I'm actually wondering who will be getting the bag of coal. I can think of one or two. I'll mention no names at this stage. Okay, agenda item 1, apologies. Do we have any apologies for tonight? None so far. Agenda item 2, council minutes. Can I seek a proposal and seconder for the minutes of the council meeting held on the 22nd of November 21 can be taken as read and approved as a correct record? Proposed by Councillor Nicholson and second by Alderman Spears. Councillor Michael.
Yes, Lord Mayor, it was just to give apologies for Councillor Nelson.
Duly noted. Thank you very much, Councillor Michael. We all agree then? Thank you. Agenda item 3, declarations of interest. We'll take them from the floor at this stage or when we come across them during the committee. Agenda item 4, committee minutes. Can I seek a proposer and seconder for the minutes of the Planning and Regulatory Services Committee held on the 1st of December 21 be taken as read and approved as a correct record? That's Councillor Lavery as the chair.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor. Yes, happy to propose the minutes.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Nicholson as the vice chair. We all agreed? Alderman Spears.
Lord Mayor, I just want to make mention of something an item of interest to me. It's in a planning application. I'm not quite sure what planning schedule it's on, but planning approval did come through to me today, and I assume it's on some schedule, and I declare an interest in it. And the details will be picked up, no doubt. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you very much, Councillor or Alderman Spears. All agreed? Okay, thank you. Agenda item 4.2. I seek a proposer and seconder that the minutes of the Environmental Services Committee held on the 7th of December 21 be taken as read and approved as a correct record. Alderman Kennedy proposed and Councillor Greenfield seconded. We all agreed? Councillor McClelland, go ahead.
Yes, Lord Mayor, good evening. I wish to raise something under ES 113/2021, and that's the management of the road verge wildflowers. And Lord Mayor, I note the committee decision to go for option 2 with the further investigation on the funding alternatives for option 3, and I think that this is to be welcomed. And indeed, on the wider biodiversity and climate change piece, if it were possible that a report could be brought back to Environmental Services Committee on the issue of how we can work the financial assistance programme funding for community groups to help them to create wildflower plots throughout Borough. I think that this was something that I raised at the Climate Emergency Working Group. So if that could be taken on board, Lord.
Thank you very much, Councillor McLeod. You broke up there a wee bit, but I think we get the gist of what you were saying, so that's no problem. The council officers will take that forward. Are we all agreed, members? Agreed, thank you. 4.3, I get proposed and seconded the minutes of Governance and Resources and Strategy Committee held on the 8th of December be taken as read and approved as a correct record. Councillor McLeod, you're the chair.
Lord Mayor, happy to propose. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And Alderman Twyvell. Thank you, Alderman Twyvell seconded. Are we all agreed? Agreed. Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 4.4. Can I seek a proposal and seconder that the minutes of the Performance and Audit Committee held on the 9th of December 21 be taken as read and approved as a correct record? Councillor Tolman, you're the chair of committee.
So proposed.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tolman. And
Happy to
Councillor
second,
Michael.
Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor. You all agreed? Agreed. Thank you, members. Agenda item 4.5. I seek a proposer and seconder that the minutes of the Leisure and Community Services Committee held on the 13th of December 21 be taken as read and approved as a correct record. Councillor Hockin, you're the chair.
Yeah, I propose.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hockin. And Councillor Tennyson, you're the vice chair.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. All agreed? Oh, Councillor Lavery, go ahead.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. It's in relation to item LCS 203 with regards to the Greenway and active travel projects. And it's good to see a number of sort of smaller scale ones moving forward. But really, I'm speaking in terms of the Greenway issue. Members will have recalled, I think it was in June time, we received an update that potential planning permission or multiple bits of planning permission would be submitted for the Craigavon to Ahlee Greenway route within 2 to 3 months. Well, now we're 6 months on, and again, I understand that no applications have been put into the system. So just some concern, Lord Mayor, and request that could we get a further update on that as to why there has been no progress. I'm aware that I think it was approximately £100,000 was invested to scope out 4 greenways, of which the Ahlee to Craigavon Greenway looks like the most likely to proceed in the short term. So we still need to keep up the positive momentum with regards to these greenway projects. So if an update could come in the early next year, whether it's January or February, with regards to this issue, to make sure that we're getting the full money's worth from our investment, to get maybe potential plans in place for one of these greenways. If that update could come in the new year. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor, and will indeed come in the new year. Councillor Tolman, go ahead.
Thanks, Lord Mayor. And yes, I want to raise an issue under the same item, LCS 203/2021. I do not sit on the Leisure Committee, but my SDLP colleague, Councillor McLeod, asked a question on my behalf on why preferential treatment has been given to projects over those on our capital plan, such as the lighting of Lurgan Park. And as a DA member for Lurgan, I know the great folly this would bring to the area, and like other members, I will continue to be an advocate for this project. I note in the response to the question that projects had to be delivered in this financial year, and not only those projects far enough advanced were considered, but how far enough advanced was project 3 of the bike stands and repair stations, when this is part of the active travel master plan, when the consultation document only closed this month on the 8th of December. So how can this project be far enough advanced over those already on the capital plan? And also my issue here is that this funding is not a recurring fund. It is up to the minister's discretion. And as you all know, we're approaching assembly election, so we could possibly have a new minister. So I feel we have missed out an opportunity to apply for 100% funding to deliver a worthwhile project. So Lord Mayor, I hope council officers have noted my concerns on this, and I would be grateful if they can get in touch with me on this in due course. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Councillor. We will get the council officers to speak to you during the week, okay? Thank you very much. Councillor Larkham.
Yes, thank you, Lord Mayor. And it was just a question in relation to the same issue as the previous two speakers. It's in relation to the active travel master plan. The question I have is, and looking through the document itself, what links does this have to the South Lake master plan, which to my knowledge is still in draft form? I haven't read the South Lake master plan in detail. There seems to be some similarities and question whether duplication over certain things that are happening within the South Lake master plan. So just the question would be, is there any link? I suppose that would be to the relevant director or the chief executive. Is there any link to the South Lake master plan from the active travel master plan? Thank you.
Not a problem, Councillor Larkham. We will ask one of the officers to get back in touch with you tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other speakers? No. We all agreed, members? Thank you. I seek a proposer and seconder that the minutes of the Economic and Development Regeneration Committee held on the 14th of December be taken as read and approved as a correct record. Councillor McAlinden, you're the chair of committee.
So proposed, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And Alderman Moutry has signalled as well. We all agreed, members? Thank you very much. Agenda item 5, I'm going to Chief Executive's report. Agenda item 5.1 is an item for decision, and it's the Labour Market Partnership Funding Application Report. And I'm going to bring in Olga, the Strategic Director for Community and Growth, to present this report.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and good evening, members. Work has been ongoing with the employability branch of the Department for Communities and the Labour Market Partnership to develop an action plan focused on helping people access employment and training. At the Economic Development and Regeneration Committee last Tuesday, a letter of offer was received for the administration and setup costs for the interim labour market partnerships. Members were advised that funding for the operational costs were imminent, and over the next few months up to March 2022, there will be a number of schemes put in place. These include a HTV programme to address the shortage of drivers, a business programme for startups from the age 16 to 24, and a COVID response programme as well. The letter of offer has now been received, so the recommendation is that members are requested to approve the letter of offer from the Department for Communities for $236,200 for the operational costs associated with the interim labour market partnership up to 31st of March 2022.
Thank you very much for that report, Olga. I'm going to bring in Councillor Cosby.
Thanks, Lord Mayor, and thank you, Olga, for the report. Can I just put on record just my appreciation to Nicola and Sarah Jane, who have worked immensely hard on bringing this to fruition and have now secured in excess of £320,000 for these essential pieces of work. And the partnership that they've been able to create with the sectors in our council area are huge. And it's good to see that this council, and particularly this department, is leading and innovating across Northern Ireland. I believe we are the first council to get a letter of offer and to move some of this forward. So I'm happy to welcome it and wish the team well for the delivery of it, and thank them for their foresight in bringing this to the fore, and particularly in relation to the HGVs, but also the enterprise pathways and the business startup. I know Alderman Moodry called for small business startup loans, and I know this will go some way to helping young people get their foot on the entrepreneurial ladder. So we shouldn't underestimate the impact that can have on young people and their ability and aspiration. So I welcome it. I thank the officers for bringing it, and I'm happy to propose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cosby. I'm going to bring in Councillor Baxter.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, for bringing me in on this. I'm quite happy to second and echo the comments of Councillor Cosby. I think it's a very good news story for the council and for the Economic Development Department, and all credit to Olga and Nicola and the team for getting us this stage where there's a letter of offer in front of us for almost £250,000. I think that has to be welcomed. In particular, as Councillor Cosby alluded to as well, the HGV scheme, as we know, this has caused a lot of problems for business and the shortage of HGV drivers right across the United Kingdom and indeed Ireland. And I think there's a lot of people out there who would make excellent HGV drivers, but the sheer cost of going through the test and doing all that is quite problematic for them. So be interested to see what the programme is going to look like and how it's going to help local people within our borough who can take this up and put them into employment, and gives them a qualification, albeit in a licence form, that they will have forever. And I think it's a very good news story for the borough. And I think it's a very good advert if we can get that out and get it done just as quickly as possible. So all credit to Nicola and Olga and the entire team in the Economic Development Department. And I'm very happy to second this proposal tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Baxter. I'm going to bring in Councillor Nicholson.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor, and as previous two speakers, thank Olga for the report and obviously the team for the work to deliver this funding, which obviously is much needed, and has already been outlined by others about the way that this can help, whether it be the HGV or new startups. I wish there was a grant, I guess, when I was starting my business, but there you go. But as I say, the question I have is there's another shortage that I'm hearing day and daily, and that's in the hospitality industry. I'm just wondering, is there anything planned to do something similar or go back to the Department of Communities to help our hospitality industry? Because I do think there's a real shortage of staff available to facilitate these types of businesses. And Lord Mayor, as you know, at the minute with COVID and things, those type of businesses are struggling to keep their doors open. And obviously we should do whatever we can when they do open the doors. The staff's there for them to sort of employ. So that's something, Lord Mayor, I just leave with the officers and they can come back to me on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nicholson. Members, do I have questions, or is it sort of just to talk about it? I'm going to bring Councillor Pope.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and thank you, Olga. Likewise, I welcome this. Yeah, just had a question just on the Appendix 2, the budget schedule, Olga. The figure against strategic priority 2, recent redundancies, 109, that's the highest figure just on that budget schedule. Could you explain maybe a wee bit more about that? I mean, is that with regards to a smaller number of larger companies, or is that smaller companies? Or, I mean, obviously important that we support smaller and larger companies. So just a little bit more information on that, please, Olga.
Certainly, Councillor Pope, we can bring back more information to you, but we have a redundancy protocol in place that we've developed in partnership with the Department for Communities, and that will be to help assist in the delivery of that.
Okay, thank you. Welcome that additional information in due course. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Kyle Savage.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Just first off, I want to congratulate Olga and all your team for what you've delivered. I think it's back in February we raised this in economic development about the shortage of HGV drivers, and at last we're getting there. So well done to all the team. But I think that connection between education and business, we need to be working on that, and sort of that we're educating our young people for the jobs that's there and potential jobs that we have in the area. And I think that's an important piece of work that needs to be carried out as well, Olga, that we're joining business with education within the area. So, but look, well done and congratulations, Olga, and all the team for the work they put in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Greenfield.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and I'll just be very brief again. We welcome this and certainly thank those who put the work in, but it's more of an operational thing. I've visited a couple of the larger logistics companies locally, and they already are trying to train and do up. I just wondering if Olga could even come back to me on how they would be able to avail or how this will, whenever it plays out for, they're already trying to train, and I know they're having a lot of issues with it. So just if some says Olga could come back, that'd be great. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Greenfield. Maybe, Olga, if you could furnish that with all the members, because it'll be interesting from our perspective how haulage companies are able to get in touch or get involved with this scheme. So we have a proposer by Councillor Cosby and second by Councillor Baxter. We all agreed? Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 6, schedule of correspondence. 6.1 is re-advertisement from the B3 Main Street Market Hill Banbridge order, 2022. Almost got that one out. Any comments or views on that one? Alderman Spears and then Councillor Nicholson.
Lord Mayor, I would be the last person to object to nearly anything, as it were, in this line, but I would ask that maybe the rest of my colleagues from the Cusher area just have a look at this location. I have had quite a lot of people on to me about what is on this portion of proposed abandoned footpath. And I would ask maybe that others just have a look at it and find out, do they share the concerns of many people that have spoken to me about it before that we approve this matter. It's obvious if one looks at it, what's there, and I'm not so sure it adds to the town, but I'll leave that and let others have a look at it.
Thank you very much, Alderman Spears. Councillor Nicholson.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor. And I just wanted, in relation to the complementary fund, the city growth deals, obviously I'm a member of the Mid-South West, and I know this is the first phase. And I suppose when we go down the list, we have only got one of our asks, and I know that one of our asks was Armagh, and it's not included in that, and that was very much sort of something that was tied in with our City of Culture, etc. And I was just wondering, the chief executive, is any more information on that? Is it still as part of phase 1, chief executive, or where is it? Because I thought that it was to come through in phase 1. Thanks, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Maybe taking the first comment from Alderman Spears, I see the closing deadline for the objection period is 22nd of February for Main Street Market Hill. So if the Cusher councillors want to take a look at that and come back, we can bring an update report to next month's council meeting. With regard to the complementary fund, this is an additional fund to the city and growth deals. It's £100 million capital, and the Mid-South West had put in a number of bids across this. We were asked to prioritise. We prioritised our bids. I think the other growth deals were asked to prioritise. they chose not to prioritise, and it would appear that that maybe has led to different outcomes. It's disappointing, the fact that there's 7.5 million for Mid-South West, and there are much larger sums for other parts. There is still another 50 million, and I would like to think that that will be coming towards Mid-South West, ABC, and I see Causeway didn't get any money out of the complementary fund. As officers, Lord Mayor, we are requesting more information on sort of the process and the criteria and how decisions were made around this, just so we can understand it better, Lord Mayor. So we'll be able to maybe bring further report back, certainly through the Mid-South West partnership, which will come through economic development.
Thank you very much, Roger. Councillor Nicholson, do you want to come back in?
Yeah, thank you, Roger. And I understand and I do share, you know, your disappointment, because I do think that we had a very strong, you know, bids put together for it. But hopefully, as you say, phase 2. But it will be interesting to see how these decisions were made, because I would be concerned. You know, there's a bit of politicking here, and this is supposed to be an economic argument, as I understand, in relation to any growth deals. So as I say, I look forward, hopefully, as I say, we'll get reported to in Mid-South West, but definitely we'll just watch that space. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nicholson. And 6.2 to 6.4 is for noting members. Anybody want to send it to Democratic Services? Agenda item 7, schedule of documents requiring corporate seal. 7.1 to 7.6 is for approval. So we're going to get a proposal and seconder that we take all on block. Proposed by Alderman Anderson. And second by Councillor Tinsley. Thank you very much. All agreed? Thank you. I'm moving on to agenda item 8, notice of motion. 8.1, notice of motion in relation to the freedom of the borough to Gloria Honeyford OBE, which is proposed by Councillor Tinsley and seconded by Alderman Anderson. So I'm going to call in Councillor Tinsley now to bring this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and good evening, members. For many years, I followed the career of this inspirational lady. Born in a terraced house on the Armagh Road in Portadown, Gloria attended Church Street Primary School before moving on to Portadown College, where she attended with Dame Mary Peters, another outstanding lady of achievement and freedom of Lisburn and Castlereagh City Council. She grew up in what she described as a loving home. Her father worked in the local newspaper and was a part-time magician. And when she was a child, she would go to the venues with her father. And she believed this sparked her initial love of entertainment. As a child, she was a great singer and she sang in Portadown College. But when she turned 17, she had the opportunity to go with a family member to Canada, and this enhanced her singing career on radio. But there was no place like home. And she returned to Northern Ireland, where she saw a position for a production assistant in Ulster Television. She applied and was successful and offered the post. Her future husband was a cameraman on this show, and she married him and had 3 beautiful children while she still continued to sing at night. She made a record, which made it to number 7, and was invited to discuss this on a radio programme. During the programme, the producer interviewed her and offered her a job with the BBC as a radio broadcaster. And this was a remarkable achievement within a male-dominated environment. Television expanded, and Gloria continued to do radio during the day and television when the opportunities arose, reporting on many horrendous events of the Troubles. However, UTV were expanding their news programme and wanted to broadcast on events outside of the Troubles. Head of programmes contacted Gloria, and she made the move to where I remember her best, and that was presenting Good Evening Ulster and interviewing many famous celebrities. Gloria once said that everything she does in her life now was all based on what she learnt in Northern Ireland. It taught her well and gave her a great grounding for her future career on the mainland. On an occasion when she was in England, she called into the BBC Radio 2, as you do, for a wee cuppa and a chat with the radio controller. And approximately a year later, she was presenting the 12 noon to 2 p.m. slot. Now, doesn't that sound really easy? But it wasn't just that easy, I'm sure, but what a remarkable achievement. So she left for London with her family with utter determination and self-belief. Her radio show was highly successful, and during this time, she was then asked to do a chat show called Sunday, interviewing, or what we would call in true Northern Ireland form, having a wee chat with many Hollywood actors, including James Stewart, Audrey Hepburn, and one of my all-time favourite actresses, Doris Day. That must have been amazing, absolutely amazing. Even though Gloria had a tremendous career success, being a mum to her two sons, Michael and Paul, and her daughter Karen, was always her priority. They too went on to have very successful careers. And I actually remember when I was in my early teens being very friendly with one of Gloria's nieces. And her niece wasn't boasting or bragging, but she was telling me what it was like to be on the Blue Peter set where Karen was presenting. And I can't begin to tell you how envious I was at that time. That was a big deal back then for me. So that was part of her career starting off. But like most mothers, the closeness and love for your daughter is indescribable. And Gloria and Karen were no exception. Karen was absolutely beautiful. And I remember back in the day, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was the Hello magazine. Now, anyone from my era knows how important the Hello magazine was every week. And I remember buying the Hello magazine every week, and Karen was a regular feature, covering her career, her wedding, and the birth of her two sons. Following the birth of Karen's second son, she found a lump on her breast and was given the diagnosis of breast cancer, and tragically passed away at the young age of 41. It was so sad, and I didn't realize, but that many years later, I too lost 3 friends between the ages of 39 to 41 to that same illness. Gloria was heartbroken, and as a mother, you wonder how you'll ever come through this. But although heartbroken, Gloria wanted to do something positive in memory of Karen and help others, and she set up a charity, the Karen Keating Foundation. The foundation has made a considerable difference to many individuals and families affected and dealing with cancer. Back in 2008, the Northern Ireland Charity for Children with Cancer was the first in the United Kingdom to receive a grant from the Karen Keating Foundation. The charity was awarded £20,000 toward the building of a new log cabin at Shimna Valley in Newcastle. This cabin was to be used for up to 16 teenagers as a place to stay during their illness. This facility was to complement the holiday homes already there that accommodated children with cancer and their families. And Lord Mayor, it was only the Lady Mayoress, Amelia Campbell, who actually took a number of us there to see the good work that was happening, because that was one of her chosen charities just a few years ago. The charity said at the time that they were honoured that Gloria had chosen their charity from home to be the first recipient of the Karen Keating Foundation. Due to her links with Action Cancer, Gloria was invited to officially launch the Action Cancer Big Bus at Hillsborough Castle back in 2006. The Action Cancer Big Bus delivers free, life-saving breast screening and health checks across Northern Ireland. And I know personally of individuals whose lives have been saved because they went for a checkup on the bus but would not have gone to the doctor. Back in 2017, Gloria was listed on the Queen's Birthday Honours list and was awarded the OBE for services to cancer and cancer charities. And for those of you who can remember, our own Portadown Victor Gordon, who has now since sadly passed away, he reported on that event, "It's only right that bubbly Portadown-born Gloria should be moved up the scale to receive her first and overdue award." Recently, Gloria said she never wants to retire. She is still blessed to enjoy good health, a very active life, and an ongoing career in television, including a regular panellist on Loose Women and Rip Off Britain. One of her very close broadcasting colleagues recently said that Gloria has been the #1 broadcaster Northern Ireland ever produced, and how proud he was and all of his broadcasting colleagues were of everything that she has achieved. Members, I bring before you tonight my notice of motion that this council confers the freedom of the Borough of Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon to Mrs. Gloria Honeyford OBE in recognition of her outstanding television and radio broadcasting achievements and her contribution to cancer charities and services. This conferment is also to recognise that Gloria is an excellent ambassador and an advocate for this area. Thank you, members. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tinsley. I know Alderman Anderson is a very keen reader of the Hello magazine. I believe he has taken out on yearly subscription. So no, thank you very much, Councillor. Just in your piece here online on the minutes, we the understand to hereby purpose. Could we have that changed at this stage to propose? So, because this will be what will go into the citation. Okay. So just to confirm that from yourself, that has been proposed as the change. I'm going to call upon Alderman Anderson.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and thanks to my colleague, Councillor Tinsley, for proposing the motion before us this evening and for that excellent commentary of Gloria's career. Gloria's career in radio and television has really been truly remarkable. After working in the local radio and television for a number of years, she received her big break on national radio, and I think it came about after doing a holiday cover for Jimmy Young on Radio 2. And in 1982, she then moved into the national radio, and the rest is history. With Gloria broadcasting, presenting numerous programmes on national radio and television, and becoming a household name right across the United Kingdom and beyond. With her ability, talent, dedication and personality, she has been a tremendous success. As already been mentioned by Councillor Tinsley, Gloria, like many, has suffered personal loss with the passing of our daughter Karen to cancer. And we applaud her for the setting up of the Karen Keating Foundation in memory of our daughter and for the tremendous work she does for cancer charities. And also, as has been said, Gloria was recognised for these services to cancer charities by being awarded the OBE in 2017. As a Portadown lady, we are justly proud of Gloria and would claim her as our own around Portadown. All her achievements over the many years, she has been a real success, and I am honoured and happy to second this motion this evening to confer the freedom of the Borough of Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon to Mrs. Gloria Honeyford, OBE. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Alderman Anderson. Okay, the floor is open for anyone to ask any questions or to speak on the matter. I'm going to call upon Alderman Spears.
Lord Mayor, first of all, I want to say that I heard with particular interest most of the comments and very good citation presented by Councillor Tinsley. She did say that Gloria Honeyford had interviewed many personalities and famous people, and I'm not sure whether I actually fit into that category or not, but I had the privilege of being interviewed by Gloria Honeyford on television quite a number of years ago. I'm not exactly sure how many, but it's somewhere in around 40. I was somewhat younger than I am today, but I do remember her quite a lot longer than that, actually, when she would sang at guest teas and concerts. I followed the pipe band world in my time in Rock McCraney Pipe Band, and there was a lot of concerts and guest teas and whatever that was held right around the countryside. And Gloria, indeed, in the presence of her father, would have been at those events. And that's how long I actually know Gloria. So it is quite fitting that this motion is brought here tonight. And on my own behalf, and indeed on behalf of the Ulster Unionist Party grouping here, I welcome this and give it my full support in terms of it. Gloria has always identified it's always good to know someone that travelled far and are equally proud of where they come from. And in that context, I rate Gloria Honeyford fairly highly in that respect. She is always, any time you see her interviewed, and there was quite a long interview with her in TV quite recently, and indeed she was quite elegant in her expounding her pride of the local scene and where she came from and the way she entered into the world of entertainment and TV. So it's a very fitting, and I believe that it has potential to be of tremendous benefit, not only to Gloria, but indeed it's a very well recognised honour, but indeed I believe it's fitting that this council could do that honour to her. So I will fully support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alderman Spears, I wasn't even born when you were being interviewed by. I wasn't even born whenever you were being interviewed. Going to bring in Alderman Garth Wilson, please.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and my signal mightn't be too good tonight, so hopefully it's coming through loud and clear. But no, I think it's a great proposal, and I think in council we have been quite sparing in our use of these accolades. So I think just given that, the fact that it's not something we do lightly, and therefore it should be for those people who we feel are true ambassadors for the borough. And I think Gloria is certainly one of those people, and I think she will very much appreciate it, and the people of the borough will very much appreciate it. I know Mr. Spears there was talking about being interviewed by Gloria, and I had the great experience, because it was 4 years ago now, or just over 3 years ago, of actually interviewing Gloria when I was Lord Mayor, and it was a really good experience. I went to meet her at the Palace for the Christmas production there that happened over the Georgian period, and after a bit of a chat, I said, look, what about an interview here on the sofa? And it was myself and Gloria and Pamela Ballantyne, and I wasn't expecting her to say yes at all, and she says absolutely, and she sat down and she got all the lighting team switched on and got here, get this lit, get this properly lit for the Lord Mayor, and all the lights came on, and one of the cameramen took my iPad and videoed the whole thing. So that's the type of lady she is, very accommodating, very, very chatty, and just a great personality, and it certainly will be a great benefit to this borough, and kudos to Margaret and Sydney for coming up with the idea. So very happy to back it.
Thank you very much, Alderman Wilson, and fantastic memories. Going to bring in Councillor Grania O'Neill, please.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I just want to say that it's great to see women excel in their chosen field, and that Gloria is a great role model for young women of today. So I'm happy to support this motion tonight on behalf of the SDLP.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I'm going to bring in Councillor Brian Pope, please.
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and we also welcome Gloria Honeyford's nomination. In addition to Gloria's very many media achievements, I want to highlight again her commitment to charity work, and in particular the Karen Keating Foundation. This helps individuals and families dealing with cancer, and it also contributes to smaller charities, and therefore really welcome this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pope. Do we have any more speakers? If not, we're going to wind it up. Thank you, members. Going to call upon Councillor Tennessee to to wind up on your motion, please? Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Lord Mayor, and members, thank you so much for your support for the notice of motion. I look forward to the ceremony, and I know our Chief Executive and his office will organise a lovely ceremony and an event befitting for such a tremendous lady for all the work that she has done. So I look forward to that in the future. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tinsley and Alderman Anderson for your proposal and seconder. Members, are we all agreed? Agreed. Thank you very much, members. Get that one painless. Thank you. Move on to confidential business. Can I seek a proposal and seconder to go into committee for consideration of the confidential items of business? Members and listeners to the audio feed in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, we will now be moving into confidential session of the Council. This means that we'll be turning off the public audio feed of the meeting. This will be returned on again when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask ACT to please turn off the audio feed? back on. Thank you very much. Agenda item 11, any other relevant business? Members, we do not have any. So we're going to close and thank everybody. So far, so good. Tonight was a very good night. There's no Grinches about the place. So you're all getting no bags of coal this year. So Santa was sending his best wishes. Members, safe home if you're heading home, and wishing you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to yourselves and to all the officers and staff within the council. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Lord Mayor.